Hey everyone, Nigel and Luke here, and welcome to another edition of Crimes of the Week International. Before we get to today's video, we're excited to announce that our official Patreon page is now live. Patrons will receive exclusive extended editions of each one of our Crimes of the Week and Crimes of the Week International videos. So if you want even more crime news coverage, head over to patreon.com/crimezone.
Authorities in southern England are advising elderly men to be on the lookout this week as police continue to search for a pair of skilled thieves that have been stealing expensive Rolex watches. The duo, dubbed the Rolex Rippers, are suspected to be involved in at least 14 separate incidents dating back to July of last year. The thieves are said to be two young women between the ages of 20 and 30 who normally approach their victims in the parking lots of golf courses. They have been described as having dark hair and speaking with either Eastern European or Spanish accents. The thefts have taken place in affluent areas in the counties of Dorset and Hampshire and usually follow one of two patterns. Either the women approach their victims posing as charity workers and use sleight of hand, or they simply run up to them, grab their wrists, and take off their watch before the victim can react. One of the most recent incidents took place on July 15th when 63-year-old Alan Bruce was walking in Wimborne Town Centre in Dorset. Bruce was approached by the two unknown women, one of whom was pretending to be deaf, and was asked to sign a fake petition. When he did, one of the women grabbed hold of him and tried to hug him. By the time he walked away from the strange encounter and realized what had happened, the women were nowhere to be found. Bruce's watch is said to be worth £14,000 or nearly $20,000 US. Police are asking potential targets to remain vigilant if they're wearing expensive watches or jewelry, and to be particularly careful if they're approached while out in public under suspicious circumstances.
Authorities in Delhi's Shadara district say that they were given a bizarre excuse this week after they arrested a suspect for the theft of a woman's earrings. The 31-year-old man told them that he had committed the crime to get money so that he could throw himself a birthday party. The crime was reported last Friday when a man riding on a motorcycle snatched a woman's gold earrings in the district's Mansuravar Park area. A search of surrounding CCTV footage revealed that the suspect was wearing a mask and that the bike he was riding did not have license plates. However, the motorcycle was distinct enough and there was good enough video footage that police were soon able to track down both the vehicle and its owner. It was then that they arrested Mohit Gautam, a junior engineer who is also a resident of Shadara. During his interrogation, he confessed to committing the theft, telling investigators that he was running out of money and he wanted to make sure he would have enough to cover his upcoming birthday celebrations. Gautam sold the earrings to a local goldsmith, who at the time of this recording is reportedly on the run.
Authorities in the Salvadoran city of Cojutepeque say that a man has been sentenced to 15 years in prison this week following his conviction for the attempted murder of a moneylender 2 years ago. The incident began in June of 2019 when a man named Juan Carlos Ventura was in debt to a local moneylender for a sum of approximately $35 US. It's unclear whether Ventura had the money or not, but when he traveled to the lender's house under the guise of settling his debt, he instead shot the man 11 times. Though the man suffered serious injuries and one of his lower limbs needed to be amputated, miraculously he survived. Police caught up with Ventura a short time after the shooting and charged him with aggravated attempted murder. Not only will Ventura be spending the next 15 years behind bars, he's now more in debt than ever. Following the trial, he was ordered to pay roughly $10,000 in civil damages to his victim.
This week, authorities in Oslo announced a major break in a 6-year-old murder investigation, following the arrest and charging of a suspect in connection with the case. The investigation began when the body of a 40-year-old Pakistani-Norwegian man named Mohammed Shahzad Aslam was found in the parking lot of a school in the area of Lindeberg on April 11, 2015. Aslam was lying next to his car and had died from severe injuries to his head. At the time, police described the murder as an execution. At least 2 people have reportedly been arrested since the case began, though charges were later dropped against them. Police have not commented as to why the charges were dropped. It was speculated that Islam's killing may have been related to 3 attempted murders he committed in the late 1990s, for which he was sentenced to 8 years in prison. One of the men formerly arrested in connection with Islam's murder is said to be an ex-gang member and the brother of one of Islam's 3 victims. The suspect charged this week was taken into custody in Croatia and extradited to Norway. He is said to be in his late 30s and was internationally wanted at the time of his arrest. Police have released no additional details about the suspect, saying that their investigation is ongoing and that they don't want to jeopardize any evidence. It remains unclear if the suspect was part of their initial theory of the case, and what, if any, relation he has to the other suspects that had been considered earlier in the investigation. Despite the lack of information, it appears, at least for now, that progress is being made towards solving the murder.
French police say that they've arrested 2 men this week following the brazen armed robbery of a high-end jewelry store in Paris. According to reports, the incident took place around 5 p.m. on Tuesday at Chaumet's iconic boutique near the Champs-Élysées. That's when a man with gray hair, a gray suit, and a face mask entered the store disguised as a customer, before pulling out a gun and demanding a large amount of valuables. The suspect managed to make off with 2 plastic bags full of expensive jewelry worth an estimated 2 to 3 million euros, or approximately $2.4 to $3.6 million US. He then escaped on an electric scooter. However, he didn't remain on the run for long. Authorities managed to catch up with the suspect on Wednesday morning, along with another man who was his alleged accomplice. The 2 men are said to be from Montenegro and were traveling on a bus to Moselle near the French border with Germany at the time of their arrest. At the time of this recording, the 2 suspects remain in police custody and have been charged with organized armed robbery. Police say that a large amount of the stolen valuables were recovered when the men were tracked down.
Authorities in Japan's Nara prefecture say that they are currently investigating the chilling murder of a nursing care worker after her body was found in a wooded area last Friday. According to reports, 56-year-old Junko Sasoka was last seen alive on the night of July 8th at her job at a nursing home in neighboring Osaka prefecture. After that, she failed to show up for work. Police were first made aware of Sasoka's sudden disappearance by her younger sister, who contacted police on July 15th after she was unable to reach her at her home in the city of Yamato Koriyama. Disturbingly, Sasoka's car was discovered abandoned in a supermarket parking lot in the city sometime after she went missing. Bloodstains found in the vehicle reportedly came back as a match to her blood type. Causing further concern, police soon learned that Sasoka had withdrawn 30 million yen, or roughly $274,000 US, from her bank account on the night she disappeared. The worst fears about Sasoka's fate were confirmed when her partially decomposed body was found in a wooded area on July 23rd. Due to the state of decay, authorities have not yet been able to confirm her cause of death. They say that none of the money she withdrew has yet been found. At the time of this recording, no suspects have been named in the case, but police say they are trying to track down some men who frequently visited Sasoka's residence.
Authorities in South Australia say that an ex-army officer has been charged with the murder of his 37-year-old wife this week following a terrifying incident of alleged domestic violence. According to reports, Cherry Ogre was rushed to Wallaroo Hospital on Monday after she was apparently brutally beaten the night before at her home in Port Hughes. Due to the severity of the head and brain injuries she had sustained during the alleged attack, she was airlifted to the Royal Adelaide Hospital. Sadly, she succumbed to her injuries on Wednesday. Cherry's husband, 58-year-old Anthony Ogre, attempted to explain her injuries to police by saying that she was drunk and had fallen backwards. However, this explanation was inconsistent with Cherry's wounds, and Ogre reportedly could not keep his story straight. At a court hearing this week, Cherry's daughter also testified that she had witnessed domestic violence between her mother and stepfather in the past. Anthony Ogar was initially charged with aggravated assault causing serious harm, but in the aftermath of his wife's death, that charge was upgraded to murder. Ogar was denied bail at his hearing this week and is due to appear in court again next year.
This week, representatives from South Africa's elite crime investigation unit, known as the Hawks, announced that they had arrested 5 suspects in connection with the brutal murders of 2 police officers. The investigation began on Monday night after 2 officers from the village of Maretsene disappeared while on duty. At around 9 p.m., the men radioed their commanding officer, informing him that they had come across a vehicle loaded with livestock that they believed to be stolen. They also said that they would be returning to the police station with the suspects involved in the alleged crime. An hour later, the officers radioed again, saying that they were only a short distance away, but they never arrived. Subsequent attempts to reach both officers via radio and their cell phones was unsuccessful. A manhunt was launched immediately after that. On Tuesday, authorities received disturbing reports about bloodstains on a nearby road. When the scene was investigated, a knife and a police badge belonging to one of the officers was discovered. Soon, a badge belonging to the second officer was also recovered. Further investigation led to the discovery of the officer's burnt-out vehicle nearby. Their charred bodies were found inside. After following up on several leads, authorities were able to determine the likely identities of the culprits and trace the 5 suspects to a village roughly 85 kilometers west of Maretsene. At the time of their arrest, the suspects were found in possession of a handgun that had been stolen from one of the deceased police officers. At the time of this recording, none of the names of the suspects have been released, but it is expected that they will soon make their first appearance in court. They have been charged with murder, malicious damage to property, and possession of a stolen firearm. That brings us to the end of this edition of Crimes of the Week International. If you're a fan of the new series, don't forget to tell us in the comments section below. While you're there, make sure to subscribe to Crime Zone for more true crime content like this, making sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest videos. Thank you for watching.